Now, someone talking about manifestation that doesn't have religious beliefs, right, with God, they might not be saying, right, what I'm saying. And that's okay, because we all have our energy of alignment to reach that end goal. Hey mama, welcome to the Balanced Mom Method podcast, a safe space to help you transform the way that you approach motherhood and life. If you're a mom struggling with self-worth, overwhelmed with overstimulation, looking to slow down, conquer mom guilt, let go of external pressures, or even embark on a spiritual awakening, you are in the right place. Let's break free from that survival mode cycle by waking up from autopilot and authentically embracing our inner self-love, trust, and connection. Imagine if every single part of your life was perceived through a lens of expansion, value, worthiness, self-awareness, and acceptance. Hey, I'm Jenna, and I've been where you are. I was consumed in the struggles of motherhood and was always in my own head, never feeling good enough. I realized if I wanted to make a change, it started within me. And in finding that freedom, I've dedicated my life's work to helping other moms heal from the inside out to come back home to themselves too. So take my hand, mama. Let's set the foundation to live an intentional life full of peace, presence, confidence, clarity, belief, joy, love, and balance. If you are ready to weed the fluff, get to the root of cultivating real change, and feel connected to yourself on a love-rooted level, let's dive in and discover the power within you. Warm up that cold coffee, pop in your earbuds, and tighten that top knot, mama. Let's overcome together. Hello, my beautiful mamas. How are you doing? Today, we are diving into a part 1 of part 2 series. Yay. So I wanted to divide this into 2 different episodes because I know that I don't want these episodes to be that long. And we're getting into nicer weather. We're getting outside more. I was even thinking like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do in the summer? Because if I don't want to be overwhelmed with recording episodes, I'm sure that, my listeners don't want to be like feeling behind or like they're not even listening to podcasts because of the summer. So I have some ideas with the summer, but I just want to keep these episodes like 20 minutes or less. So I hope that we can do this today. And then next week, we're going to dive into the same type of conversation, but different buckets, I guess. So like today, I want to talk about how manifestation and energetics intertwine with religion and if you can manifest wrong. So I'll give you context as we kind of dive into the episode here, but this is it could be a polarizing topic. So I'm going to give you my opinion here. And then next week, we're going to talk about how to manifest. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. So I had to put the term manifestation like in the title and like say that word like just now too, because I know that we've all heard or know what this term is, or at least we've heard of this term, right? But maybe this is an unpopular opinion. To me, it's a buzzword and it's used so willy-nilly, like just like episode 73 of this show when I talked about the same kind of concept with mindfulness, right? We kind of unpacked a little bit behind that buzz term too of mindfulness, and they're both wonderful. Like the principles, the concepts of them are great. So let me preface this conversation that everything is in my opinion, okay? From my studies, from my own research, from my own learning and my own experience. And I encourage you to do the same and create your own beliefs, right? But I wanted to start a conversation, and I would love for you to start a conversation or continue this conversation and share what resonates with you about this topic, what you might disagree with, what you do agree with, and just having a profession in the wellness space. Mindfulness and manifestation are terms that we often hear, and I don't really care for either of them because like what I just said, like they're willy-nilly. They can have ill intentions packed behind them, but since you're using that term, it like draws the people in, and then I just feel like there could be a lot of bad avenues taken with that, just with ill intent. And as well as someone who might be confused, who might just be getting started within this space and, into this world of spirituality or wanting to live more simple or mindful. And they feel so intimidated because all these things are just such a big uproar of what to do and the terms and all this, like it's so concrete and like black and white, and it's not. Like it's just not. And that's obviously what the show is about. Like we're finding our energy of alignment. But also the person who has religious beliefs, and then they hear this term manifestation and they feel like, oh my gosh, like, no, I got to run the opposite way, because they feel that they're going against their religious beliefs by exploring and being curious. So I don't care for the terms. I don't. The actual practices of them are legit. Like, and that's what I want to dive into today, because the concepts of them, and I want to talk about some parallels and how you could interchange some words, because the meanings are the same. And I feel like the words sometimes are what get the bad rap, or what have the preconceived notions behind them, or what have you. Okay, so this conversation is actually inspired from, I had a conversation with a friend the other day who asked me about like energetics from a Christian biblical view, because she had a hard time understanding and wrapping her head around it. Like she understands that, everything has a frequency and things are made up of energy, and yet the whole manifesting thing, the whole manifesting term, she felt it wasn't a biblical based principle, because she saw people in the online space just talking about manifesting out of thin air. Like you can manifest everything, right? And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like a good chunk of people, let's say, if they have good intentions, that I'm not talking about ill intentions or good intentions. I'm just talking that sometimes people can literally boast to manifest everything and put this facade that it's just going to magically appear. And what does that do? If and when it quote unquote might not work for you, number one, how does that make you feel? You're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel like a failure, that what you're doing isn't good enough, because I'm not doing it the way that this person told me to do it, and that everything's working for them, and they make millions and they do this and they do that and they're so abundant, but it's not working for me, so I must be not as good, right? And all that's doing is reinforcing the poor downward spiral of looking outside of ourselves and how to fix ourselves, versus empowering us to know that we have everything inside of us. So, let me backtrack a little bit. When my friend brought this conversation up to me, the first thing I said was like, oh my gosh, like this was the hardest hurdle for me the past couple years, because when I have been so fascinated with energies and science since I've been little, right? Like it's always been my favorite subject in school, mathematics and science. Like I love everything about it. So when I was, growing up and I was raised in a certain religion, I felt like the two clashed, and I took the religious route a lot, and or I just never had them coincide. Like I had religious beliefs and then I had science beliefs, but they were never able to coincide with each other. Does that make sense? And because everything that I'm going to say right now, like this was prior to like really diving in and learning, right? So this was my initial beliefs around it. Everything that Jenna just dipping her toe into the water of the unknown. This is how I was feeling at that beginning stage, because these are depths and shadows I was like working through at that time, because I was like, oh my gosh, if this is against my religion, is this against God? Is this satanic? Is this the devil trying to like take me over? Like it was dark and deep, and I'm like, what's going on? Like how many times have I felt like I am a psycho? Like what's going on? I'm crazy for, feeling these feelings, or like wanting to just being curious, right? And it's so beautiful. Like, let me just say, like there were never ill intents or like bad, negative, like anything harmful, right? It was never anything like that, but it was more so like, is this against religion? And is this like evil trying to take over? So I was opening a big can of worms, like out of curiosity and out of questions that I had and things that I felt like I innately believed and I suppressed for so long. And I am someone that if I set my mind to it, I'm going to research and learn and create my own answer. Like, and by obviously like learning answers from other people and like taking credible sources, right? But I'm going to get to an answer. So the more that I dove into studies, it was like this push and pull, because yes, I believe in God, and without going into detail or wanting to bash religion in any way, I'm all about like inclusion here. Believe what you believe. I'm all for that. However, I was raised in ways that when I was around the church, it was very much a shame-based practice, right? If you didn't do this, it was bad or whatever. So when I started to kind of have these epiphany moments, I was like, God is God. Like, God is the creator. He is the creator. He's going to love me regardless. And if I have a good, solid relationship with him and communication with him, like, he knows my intentions, and he knows my intentions are pure and out of love and wanting to help. And I'm here to help serve others and create change. And how the heck can this be satanic, right? Like, there's no way. So for me, it was more of like, my fears were around man-made pieces of religion. The man is what I was fearful of, because, you know, you're doing wrong, you're sinning. And it's like, no, don't do that. Like, and what I had to trust and believe within all of me was, this is me and God. So that just kind of allowed me to open and to kind of go into the depths and to continue and kind of open that can of worms. If I, you know, and I would say, like, I would talk to God and be like, okay, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to anyone else. Like, keep me in your loving energy and keep me safe and protected as I dive into this stuff. So very much, you know, prayer conversations every single day, still do. And it was very, very much a level that I had to be okay with myself, with like opening up into my spirituality, into learning, and into just that space and into the unknown, right? So the ironic thing, if ironic is the right word, the more that I'm learning, energetics, this is my opinion, there is nothing contradictory with energetics and religion. They complement each other so much. And without going into biblical verses and things like that, because again, like, I value your opinions and your beliefs, and if you don't care for what I'm saying, that's fine. This is a judgment-free zone. So I don't think that there is any contradiction, because God created energy. Like, God is the creation of everything. So back to terms of manifesting, again, like, we're in this Christian biblical view. So back in terms of manifesting, I feel like it's a buzzword, because there's so many terms and principles that can mean the same thing. And this is me not having or not wanting to take any sides on anything. Again, everything that I'm saying, you take what resonates with you. I do feel that there are so many parallels within different religions also, right? There are so many different parallels. And if we take the time to learn about different religions, like, there's just so many parallels. But having so many terms where the principle is the same, we're just calling them different things, right? But to me, my interpretation of that, it's all within God's power, like what I just said. And the energies of the universe, prana, life force, whatever you want to call it, it's amazing. Own it. Own your beliefs. Like, they are your beliefs. And if that is what is bringing you closer to your enlightenment, to your feeling good, to your happiness, again, to whatever you want to call it, like, we are here in this human experience. We all have the same goal. We all have the same goal, the end result, that enlightenment, that the presence, the now, the feeling good, the heaven on earth. Call it what you want. It is the same thing, just with different contexts, because we all are different. We all have different beliefs and different views, and that is amazing. Like, that's why we're human. But this is why I embrace finding your energy of alignment here in this space. So now let's take this in another light, okay? You've probably heard of the quote, where your intention goes, your energy flows. Think about this. If I'm having all these negative thoughts all the time, what am I going to be focusing on? Like, I'm always subconsciously looking for the negative. I'm thinking of the negative. That's just kind of, you naturally are drawn to your thoughts. And if we're subconsciously thinking about the negative things, we're going to be looking for that next bad thing that's going to happen. We're going to be expecting that next bad thing to happen, because that's just what always happens to me, right? So then there's evidence based in that, right? So like, why do you think that there's these quotes out there? You know, like, what you focus on expands, where your thoughts go, that's where the energy flows, and all these things, right? That's kind of where our reality also leads to. It's all within the energetics, within ourselves, within the universe, within the world, within our creation, right? So now, call it a goal or your manifestation, right? You might not even reach that goal, or you might not reach that manifestation because it might not be in your plan, right? It might not be in your blueprint or your destiny, okay? It might not be, if you want to use the word, it might not be God's plan for you, but it's still going to get you closer to what your plan is because you are finding clarity along the way, because you're focusing on those right intentions, okay? That's like kind of a general religious view, let's say, okay? In terms of manifestation, if you're focusing on those intentions to reach that manifestation and you still don't get there, rather than feeling like a failure, think about that lesson. Think about maybe you course corrected and you're like, oh my gosh, like maybe my lesson was like, that's not what I wanted, right? Like this is it. And it's so much better. It's so much grander. So even if, because again, we're looking at that negative of, oh my gosh, I failed. Like this doesn't work. Manifestation, da 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 da. But you're finding clarity along the way. You're growing, evolving along the way, and keep that relationship between you and your God close. Okay. So that's a general, just kind of religious view. Now call in energetics. If you do want to call it energy or call it God's will, the Holy Spirit, feeling good, good intent, whatever. Again, like it's an interchangeable terminology. But energy is within our human existence. Energy is within our existence here on earth. That is how our world works. It's through energy. So that it's just what it is. So everything is made out of energy. We have frequencies, we have vibrations. And again, call it what you want, but think about how everything revolves around that. Your religion, your religious beliefs, there's no conflict of interest here, because if you think God has created everything, he's the creator of all, it means he created energies, right? That's amazing. So if you think God is the energy of the universe, that's also amazing. It's whatever words you want to use or whatever terms you want to use based on your beliefs. So for me, I have beliefs in learning so many different modalities and terminologies, and I love learning about different religions and stuff. Like I said, I love finding parallels within religion. I just feel like there are so many similarities and parallels within it all. Oh my gosh, like it's that same end goal concept. So in terms of Christianity, if we want to call it God's will, we still have our human experience. We still have our human existence. We have our free will. And to me, this is where our energetics comes into play within our free will, because our free will is our human experience. That's where our energy comes into play. So if there is a principle, a one-liner here of within this whole episode of how I view this is aligning our free will to God's will to live out your destined path. All the energetic work here is within our free will to align to God's will. And this is me talking from a spiritual perspective. Again, if you aren't spiritual, you probably still have some sort of belief of, finding your purpose, within this life or what have you. So now someone talking about manifestation that doesn't have religious beliefs, right, with God, they might not be saying, right, what I'm saying. And that's okay, because we all have our energy of alignment to reach that end goal. Are you following me here? So in using different terminology, the end goal, like I just said, is still the same. Can we all agree that the end goal of quote unquote manifestation is to remove the gunk, the resistance, the stuck emotions, whatever that gunk is, remove that to live out our destined path? Can we say that? Can we agree on that? So calling it manifestation, we are removing the blocks to align to our destined path, to align to God's will, to align to our calling, to align to our dharma, to align to what our blueprint is, right? We are able to live out what our blueprint is because we're open to receive it. We're not putting the resistance of whatever the limiting beliefs, the root beliefs, the negative mindset, the loops, the whatever it is, whatever those stuck emotions within us are, we are working to remove them so we're able to live out our destined path. So now, circling back to what I was saying at the beginning of the episode, what if manifesting doesn't work? Am I doing it wrong? Am I a failure? Again, prefacing, this is my opinion. It could be a couple different things if quote unquote manifesting doesn't work for you. Maybe, it's all about perspective, okay? Maybe you're not destined for it and you feel that you have to, or like it's a should type force thing. When deep down, you know that you're trying to manifest something that you really don't want. And you feel that it's because I should be doing it for my business, or I should be doing it because so-and-so said to, or I should be doing it for this external expectation or pressure, or I should be doing it because other people want me to. But deep down, it's not your desire, and it's not within your blueprint. I feel like deep down, we know what our destined path is. But hello, we were born a human, and we have an ego, and we have a mind, and we have external forces. Like, there's just so much, right? And like, that's the beauty of this life, is to figure out who we are and to live just the best life ever. So it's getting into that alignment piece of it, into God's will, if you will say that, right? For our lives, within our truth. And I feel that our truth is in parallel with God's will. So again, it's all different terminology here. If I say finding your truth, does that resonate with you? Or finding your alignment with God's will, does that resonate with you? Because to me, it's the same thing. It's just a different way to say it. And if someone doesn't believe in God, I'm not going to discredit that. I'm not going to disvalue or not think that is worth it or wrong. I still feel that the end goal is the same, regardless of differing beliefs. And I feel that there are so many interchangeable words and practices to use. So another reason, if quote unquote manifestation isn't working for you, it might be because, okay, maybe you're not destined for it. And maybe you'll come to the truth. And once it comes to surface, maybe you'll find out, it's going to be hard. It's not going to manifest the way that you thought it should. But how many times have you heard, successful people, or maybe yourself, I thought I wanted this, but oh my gosh, God's plan was so much better, right? How many times have you heard that? And this is where faith comes in. This is where belief comes in. I'm not saying like everything is butterflies and rainbows, but to hold on to faith of some sort of higher power, of some sort of, I'm going to figure this out because like there is something so much greater than me. And there's so much. Okay, so that could take a huge tangent here, but we're wrapping, okay? So if we're focused on manifesting this one thing and it's completely different, it could be different for so many reasons. It might not be in this timeline. It might not be in your timeline right now. It not be, within the season of your life. It might be because you have to release and heal from some stuck emotions or root cause work to do before you're in that alignment again. I just don't think that you can manifest incorrectly. I just think that there might be more work that has to be done or a path that has to be taken. It has nothing to do with, I'm doing it wrong or, I'm failing. I just think it's kind of pulling down the curtain for you to get true to yourself a little bit more and to get through some resistance, to get through the gunk, to align back to your energy of alignment, to God's will, if you will, since, we're talking a little bit on religious talks right now, but we're not doing it wrong. You can't. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I would love for you to email me, hello@naturallympoweredliving.com. Send me a message on Instagram. I'm slowly coming back on social media. You can start a conversation in our motherhood empowerment community. Where do you like to hang out? I would love for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you feel aligned to this conversation and you feel that you want to work through some gunk yourself to release some stagnant energy, consider scheduling a one-on-one energy healing session with me. I would love to talk to you. I would love to work with you. My sessions are so much more than just like a Reiki session. Like we talk, we kind of get into that connection, conversational piece together. It's meditative. We go through meditations together. We kind of get into that oneness energy, that alignment energy together. And it's a beautiful experience. So check the show notes for a link to schedule a one-on-one energy healing session with me. And until next week, we are continuing this conversation to chat about different ways of how to manifest regardless your beliefs. So until next week, as always, simply be you. You have everything inside of you to learn your energy of alignment and deepen your relationship within. I'm sending my love and so much light.
Did you find this episode relatable or compelling? Please give me a review.
Thank you so much for spending this sacred time with me on the Balanced Mom Method podcast. I am sending you so much love and covering you in light, praying this episode has helped you in some way. And if it has, I'd be so grateful if you left a written review sharing how it's impacted your life. It truly lights me up hearing how you are on your way to your breakthrough. And also, please share this episode with another mom who may be struggling, to remind her that we are never alone and to help give her that empowerment to take that first step. And be sure to check the show notes for additional ways to connect with me, our motherhood empowerment community, and if and when it feels good to you, learn how we could work together to help you reclaim your power, mama. Thank you. I appreciate all you are and all you do. Sending my love and light.